I think so. I think people feel more safe right now than in 2020, because in 2020, man, the world was on fire, right? We didn't know what was going on, so everybody just like, man, let me just give you some money, man, just to like, look, bro, I ain't racist, bro. Here you go. That was the narrative, and I'm just being real. All my friends that reached out, bro, I'm okay. I was okay before that. Like, y'all ain't have to call me to see if I was okay. I was gonna be all right anyway, because black people been dealing with trauma and terror since we've been on this planet.
Hey, it's Breaking Barriers, the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging podcast. We're here for real talk. We're not afraid to go there. And we want you to come away emboldened and energized to take action and make change.
We believe our diversity, our differences, when joined together by a common set of ideals, makes us stronger.
When I set out to help someone, it is my intention to do just that. I'm not trying to do anything other than meet somebody at their humanity.
Your world has changed, but your dreams shouldn't have to. That's why Kirkwood is your next best step. With affordable, flexible, and close-to-home options, now's a great time to start or finish your Kirkwood degree. Learn more at kirkwood.edu/findyourfuture. Displaced or discouraged at work? Kirkwood can help you learn a new skill or totally reinvent yourself for a brand new career. With so many flexible and affordable options, you can get back on track fast. Learn more at kirkwood.edu/findyourfuture.
We're here again, world, on another episode of Top Ranks Breaking Barriers, brought to you by five-star presenting sponsor Kirkwood Community College and our silver sponsor Rise to Greatness, formerly known as PG Cares. I'm your co-host, Anthony Arrington, with my co-host Joy Briscoe and Nicholas Ford over there.
We are back international. Yep. We're actually recording this on International Women's Day. So super excited about it.
Dope.
Got women's advocates and allies here. It's going to be an amazing day. So I know this is going to be a great episode.
Absolutely, dope. Absolutely. I'm just going to, we're going to get it going here. Who's our guest today?
Our guest is Bro Hometown Love.
No doubt.
Andre Wright. So if you aren't familiar, we started with Blue Collar.
Yeah.
And then what year did you actually do Humanize My Hoodie?
2017. September 11th, 2017.
Read his bio real quick.
Go ahead and go into his bio.
I got a little quick short of you.
Yeah, you can do that.
Andre's a designer, activist, visionary, community builder, world traveler who's dedicated his life to underrepresented people. Since launching his own fashion brand out of Iowa City, Iowa, he's grown Humanize My Hoodie into a global fashion activism movement, designing hoodies for rappers, black liberation leaders, allies, black youth, while staging fashion shows and workshops nationally, educating thousands about the power of fashion to inspire, empower, and spark important conversations. He was named Entrepreneur of the Year by Junior Achievement. His work's been featured on New York Fashion Week. Love that. Promoted by Politico, NPR, Essence Magazine, Target, Atlantic Records, Warner Music. This is 50, Facebook, Foot Action. You can name it. Andre's goal is to help black youth. He mentors and he corporates his corporate audience, and his goal is to, what I loved, you want to spark a revolution and make people realize they have power to change the world.
That's right.
That's you, Dre. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Man.
Hey, listening to that bio, sometimes I forget. I be forgetting about all the stuff that I've accomplished, and sometimes, I mean, when you go through the day, I just do the work. So to hear that, man, like, if anybody's listening to this and like really got some kind of dream, passion, purpose, whatever, I mean, I'm being real. Like, I didn't realize I can do any of that stuff. Like, when I was coming up, like, I didn't think I could do any of those things. And so to hear it at 45, man, I'm grateful that I'm able to be that person.
Dre, you've done amazing work, and like you said, you move so fast, you don't stop and think. But and I think for listeners, talk a little bit about your journey and why you do it, and why you're unapologetic about helping underrepresented kids, primarily black people. That you're unapologetic about that, and it's helped you catapult your career. But there's a social justice component. Why is that?
I think I care. I don't think I look at it as work either. I mean, that's not, I mean, I think I just look at it just as who I am. And like, I've been given my superpowers to do that. Everybody got their own powers to do certain things. That's my thing. And I think when I look at the youth, or I think about anybody from the design diaspora who wants to do design, I be thinking about when I was 16 and who I had in my life and who could actually help me. I didn't really have anybody. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool to be me at 16. I was cool, like, don't get me twisted. I was a cool dude. But I'm saying my career wasn't cool. Like, you either had to play basketball or football or something like that. You had to be like cool like that. So I was kind of like the offset kid. Meaning, like, I was a kid that I was dope. Don't get, like, let me keep it real with y'all. I was dope always. But what I'm saying is, like, art and fashion and being like, that stuff wasn't cool. That wasn't cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to hide a lot of that stuff. I couldn't really talk about that stuff with my friends because they like, man, that's weird, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to play basketball with them, you know what I'm saying? And do stuff like that. And in reality, I wanted to be this other kid, and I always wanted to be very expressive, and that was my way of being expressive. I got lucky, I got lucky in high school because, you know, I grew up with a two-parent home, and, you know, that helped me out a lot, being able to have some stability and infrastructure. Right. You know, so I always thank my parents because, you know, me and my brother, we was bad. We was tyrants, man. We used to do a lot of different stuff, and they saved us from going to prison and moved us to a predominantly white neighborhood. So this is how my activism comes in play. So when I was young, I got a chance to see racism in my face at a very early age. So I was inherited racism, meaning like I saw racism when I was in 3rd and 4th grade. Like, understood white people. They didn't understand black people, but I got a chance to understand them. And through those experiences, it allowed me to become who I am, somewhat of a chameleon, meaning I'm adapted to a lot of different situations. That's how I've been able to build my career. You got to think, I can be in the boardroom, I can be in the streets, I can be wherever I'm who I am. I can go around the world and still be myself and never lose my identity. I'm always me. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's a very important skill. A lot of my friends couldn't do that. Like, a lot of my friends would be afraid to be in white spaces and be unapologetically black. I never was afraid of that because I was always that person. You know what I'm saying? So I was adapted that skill.
How'd you get started, Andre? Like,
white art and fashion. That's
how did you get started?
Yo, I'm a prodigal. Like, my grandmother my grandmother raised me from Durant, Mississippi from like 9 months. And they put pencils in my hand early on like that. Like, I can't even remember when I first started drawing, but I was a sketch artist. I could sit here and draw you specifically like you. Like, and I did that for hours. I had a lot of discipline when I was young. Like, that's how I'm able to sit in front of those computers like that, because I had a lot of discipline, man. Part of my punishment when I was coming up as a kid was to draw for 2 hours. It's called constructive time. Like, imagine that. Like, I mean, I got my whippings too, but I'm saying, like, some of that punishment would be like, hey, man, you either go in there, play the keyboard, or draw for 2 hours. Imagine that being your punishment. I got really good at art because of that. I mean, of course, it was hurting too, because I would see kids outside playing in the park at Ferguson, and I'd be like, yo, I want to go out there too, man. Which I couldn't, because, you know, I had to do my constructive time. So it was those lessons. That's kind of how I got started. You know what I'm saying? It was those types of things. And I still remember all that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I still remember. I'm trained. Like, my body's trained to remember all those different things. And now I'm just having fun, man. It was hard during those days, and I never knew any of that stuff would happen for me. I swear, I promise you, I never thought that. But, you know, my family always told me that I was really special. My mom always told me that, yo, things will never happen for you but later in life, because they always gonna matter.
And you just kept grinding.
And I just kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like I never had a lot of early success in my career. Like, in my 20s, I was hustling. I was in school. I dropped out. I was hustling. I was in Fort Dodge hustling. Anybody know me from Fort Dodge, they're gonna be like, man, Dre was. I wouldn't have got sitting here.
Issa Rae said recently that, I didn't mean to cut you, but she said recently that if success had happened for her in her 20s, she was glad it happened for her, like, in her 30s later, because she knew more what to do with it. Her exact words was that she would have been an HOE if it happened in her 20s. And it's just like, you don't. I'm probably career-wise a late bloomer too. I had no idea what I wanted to be until later on, and so I do think there is something to be said of when kind of your arrival into your career is later, because you value it differently.
Yeah, it's earned. You understand
purpose.
It's earned. It's not given. It was earned. You know, like every brick was built. You know.
So back in 2017, Humanize My Hoodie, right?
Yeah.
Did you even foresee what that was going to become?
No.
And not only that, but what are some of the people that have worn that hoodie that we all know?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go into that. No, I didn't. I to be 100% honest, man, like, and this is from my perspective, and I'm sure Jason got other perspectives, but from my perspective, what I was already doing was I was building I was trying to build a fashion industry, and I was using fashion as a way to kind of change people's lives. I was basically empowering people on stage. They didn't know that I was doing that, but I was doing it. I was like, yo, like, you want that next job, man, you're going to have to get a lot of confidence. You're going to have to be a little bit sharper. And so I was putting people on stage from that aspect. Not really care. I didn't really care about the clothes. I never even went to fashion school. Like, I didn't go to none of that school. I didn't do no cut and sew stuff. I know how to do it, but I didn't go to school for that. And so when I saw that, I kind of got bored. I didn't get bored. I saw an opportunity to pour some fuel on it, because I was already in the industry. And my brother Jason, he made a post. Like, we already had been building. Like, I brought him to the community a few times, and he had said a few things to me, and I was like, yeah, man, you're right about that. Like, one thing he said to me is like, hey, if something happened here, what's the infrastructure? This was before anybody was talking about movement stuff. Like, they've been, like, Minnesota and them been doing movement stuff for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get it twisted.